Hello everyone. In this video, we will discuss the most important and the basic concept in statistics, that is the difference between population and sample. So first, if you just take population, so generally population means some people living in some particular area, right? So that's the population. But when it comes to statistics, population means the entire data available to perform a particular study. Let's understand this with an example. So if you just take, if you want to calculate the average height of students in a class, right? We just take that example. What you can just do is, since the data is small, we can just go we can just go near each and every student and we can just collect and we can just do the average, right? That's our task. Our task is to calculate the average height of the people in the class. So that's our task, and the data available, the students in the class, right? The heights of the students available in the class. So that's the population. So that's the population in statistics. And when it comes to sample, right? The sample means, we can just understand, right? It's some part of that population. So if we just take that same example, like calculating average of heights of students in a class, since the data is small, we can go and collect and calculate the average. But if you just take a large population, so if you just want to calculate the average height of people in India, right? If you just want to calculate the average height of people in India, is it possible to do? No, right? So we have huge number of people, right? So it's very difficult to go near each and every person and ask their height and calculate the average, right? So in such scenarios, what we will just do is, we will just extract some part of that population to perform the analysis, right? To perform the task. So that's sample. Let's understand this with another example. Let's take the recent example. So the scientist who just found the vaccine, right? In order to perform the clinical trials for the vaccination, what they just done? It's impossible to do the vaccination trials on huge number of people, right? It's very difficult. So, and also we just have less amount of time. So what they have done, they just consider some samples from that entire population, right? They just taken people from different areas, right? And from different locations, from different genders, different nations, different cultures, right? They just considered all those things and they just extracted some people. They just selected few people and they just performed the trials on that people, right? So that's the sample. And one more thing is, when you are just performing sample, like when you are just sampling the data from a population, we just want to follow some steps, right? So we are just using that sample to understand overall view of the population, right? So this sample which we just extracted, it should be able to give the information about the population. And similarly, when you just perform the clinical trials, we are just performing the trials on some particular sample. So the sample which we just extracted, it should be able to tell the information about the entire population. So that's why when we're just sampling, we just want to follow some steps. So in that, so number one, the sample should satisfy all the different variations which we just have in the population. So for example, let's take the clinical trials, right? So the people which we just select, the people which we are just selecting from the population, it should satisfy all the different variations, like all the different genders, all the different country people, or different nations, different cultures, different food habits, right? The people who are just having different food habits, it should satisfy all that different variations. For example, let's say if we just take a sample, if you just perform the clinical trials only on some group of people, right? Only on the people who are in India. So in India, we may be having some different cultures, some different food habits, some different immunity levels. And in other countries, like when you just take USA, for that people there may be some different cultures, some different variations, right? So when you just performing a sample, we just want to consider the whole data. The sample should be able to satisfy all the different variations which we have in the population. That's the first thing. And the second thing is the sample data should not be biased, right? Bias in the sense you should not select only some particular kind of data. So like we should not only select only the people from India. We should also consider the different people, right? So that's the bias. Like the sample data should be unbiased. So those are the two things that we should keep in mind when we are just sampling a data. Now I will just explain you with an demonstrate you with an example so that you can able to better understand this population and sample. So you can see here, this is the population. So if you just take this as population, this is a sample. So we have just discussed with the previous example, right? Like performing the clinical trials. So when if you just take, this is the entire population, and if you just want to perform the clinical trials, we just want to extract some sample. So you can see the sample here, which I just extracted from this population. So as we have discussed, this sample should be able to represent all the variations present in the population. You can see here in the population, we just have this. Let's consider these black and red circles as a different kind of people. So these black circles are all of different group of people, and these red are all of different kind of people, like different group of people. So you can see in the sample also we just those two groups of people. So that's how we just want to sample the data. So you can see when I just sample, I haven't sampled only one set of people. You can see I just considered both these group of people. So that's how we just want to sample. And you can see this is the population and this is the sample. So that's it for this video. I hope you got an idea on the population and sample. So this is the basic thing that you just want to know when you're just starting statistics. So I hope you got it. So that's all for this video. If you just understood the video, if you feel this video is helpful, make sure to like the video, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure to subscribe and press that bell icon as well. With that, I will just see you all in the next video, and until then, keep learning, stay safe, and thanks for watching.